If you've been following my YouTube channel, you know that over the past months, I've been working on a Google Workspace add-on that lets you bring your ClickUp tasks to Google Sheets. Now, I've done a few videos on ClickUp to Sheets already because I've been improving the tool over time and I've been demoing every single feature. Now, with this new release, there's one new major feature that I want to show you, and it's time entries exports. Now you can bring in the time tracked from ClickUp onto Google Sheets. And if you don't know what time track is already, we can dive into ClickUp and open up a task. And if we open the task, we have this little play button with track time. Any one of your team members can log their time onto ClickUp, and that can be useful for simple reporting or for billing purposes if you're working with freelancers, for example. Now, I can, for example, say I've been spending 2.5 hours on this task, and I can even add a description. So I can add a note and say preparing designs, and then I can add a tag if I want to and log it as billable or not. So once I've recorded this time entry, this basically adds up in the time track over that task, but also over the timesheets right here. And as you can see, we have these tasks appearing in the timesheets, which is a new feature that ClickUp has released in the middle of last year, I think. And I think they've been improving this feature over time, but they don't offer exports yet. And even if they will, it will never be as powerful as how much you can drill down that data in a tool like Google Sheets. So that's why I've been developing these time tracked exports, and I'll show you that right after. If you don't see that time tracked feature on your space, it means you haven't turned it on in your space Click apps. Just as a reminder, if you right click onto the Click apps, space settings, and then we go to all space settings, we can see Click apps, and then you can turn on the feature called time tracking. It's this one right here. If you don't see the time track on your tasks, that means that is off. So make sure you turn it on. Now, with that said, let's get back onto Google Sheets and let's go into the right panel and open up ClickUp to Sheets. Now we have list syncs right here. So we have my content calendar. We have a random list that I've imported here for demo purposes. And as a reminder, obviously I can import any list. So if I want to import this newsletter list onto Google Sheets, all I have to do is go to ClickUp to Sheets, synchronize a new list. And then from there, I can just pick my workspace, space, folder, and list. I'll just go into the right workspace. I'll pick marketing, then content, and then into content, it's gonna look up for all the lists. Then I can go to the newsletter list and I can sync it right here. So it'll offer me some sync options. I can bring in everything. I can turn on the sync every day. I've demoed this already in the previous video of ClickUp to Sheets, and then start my sync. And this will synchronize a list. And it's going to create a new tab and bring in every single task from that list into ClickUp to Google Sheets. This is just a quick reminder of what ClickUp to Sheets does mainly. But this new feature is not related to tasks directly, it's related to time entries, to time tracked by your team. And as I've shown you, we have some time tracked right here. So this is time tracked for this week, but if I go to all time sheets, if we make the range longer, we can see that we've logged some time for the previous weeks, for example, right here. And let's go up. We have some more time logged right here from different people. So I want to bring all of this data onto Google Sheets because it's not really readable here and you cannot create really interesting reports. Now, all I have to do is get into ClickUp to Sheets. I'm going to go to the home page. And from there, there's a little stopwatch icon that lets you export time entries. If you click that icon, it will ask you to show your time tracked for different levels, because you can bring in all your time entries or just time tracked from a workspace, a space, a folder, or a list. And based on what you select, it's going to ask you to pick what you want to bring in. Now, if I pick space, for example, I have to select the space. As you can see, by the way, it's just imported my whole newsletter list, so all the tasks are right here, but that's not what we need right now. I'm gonna pick space, and from there, it's gonna prompt me to choose the space. I'm actually gonna pick the whole workspace. I'm gonna bring time track for the whole workspace, because I want to see all the data that we've been seeing here, and it might be scattered across different spaces in that workspace. Now, I want to bring data from the whole beginning of December. So let's get back to ClickUp to Sheets. And I'm going to pick the month of December from the 1st until maybe the 15th of January is fine. And then I can choose to bring in only billable time or not. Now in ClickUp, you can pick any time entry as billable or not. So if we open this, for example, we have some time logged right here, and we can turn it as billable or non-billable. That little switch determines if your time is billable or not. So if I log some time entry right here, if I log 5 hours, if I log client work, for example, click save, it's gonna bring that time as billable. For the sake of this example, we're gonna bring in all the billable time entries, but also the non-billable time entries in one sheet. And then we're gonna do a second sheet where you only see the billable time only. Now let's click sync time tracked, and it's just gonna take it a few seconds to bring in every single time entry. So they're all right here, and we have 23 time entries synced. Now, if you have 100 or 1,000 time entries, it's all going to bring them in. There's no problem with that. And from there, you can create weekly reports. You can decide to create pivot tables in Google Sheets. You can also create a formula and calculate the average or the sum of the time tracked. So you can do everything you want in a spreadsheet-like format, which makes so much more sense when it comes to time tracked. You can also bring in that data onto another billing tool if you want to. And this is a brand new feature that's into ClickUp to Sheets. Now, I really want to make ClickUp to Sheets your go-to tool when it comes to exporting your ClickUp data and reusing it later. So this is just the foundation for more advanced reports, because I'll probably offer some advanced time entries reports. We could have, for example, some aggregated calculation, as I said, so that we can see how much time has Ramzi spent this week, for example, how much time has he spent per list, for example, if each list is a client, so you can know the time spent per person, per client, per week. This is the kind of data that we're going to bring in. And obviously it comes with some calculation and computation behind the scenes. This is going to be the next step to exporting time entries. For now, you're just getting raw data from ClickUp, but in the future, there'll be dedicated reports into ClickUp to Sheets. Now, just to show you the billable feature, I'm going to make some of these time entries billable. So if we look at this one, 10 design tools, for example, let's find it this week. I'm going to make this one billable. So this one has been recorded, but sometimes it takes a few minutes for ClickUp to refresh their data and for this actual time entry to be brought in. So that's why it's not appearing into Google Sheets. In maybe an hour or so, it'll be there if I sync a time entry again. But let's do it with this one. Let's make this one billable, and then let's do some more. Just gonna turn those on as billable so that we see the billable data coming in onto ClickUp to Sheets. I'll put the same start date, same end date, and this time I'll turn on sync billable time only. Now, if your start and end date are exactly the same, it's gonna prompt you to rename your previous one. So you can rename it as non-billable. So I'm just gonna add a dash so that the name is different, because it's gonna create a new sheet with the exact same name, and Google Sheets doesn't like that. So make sure that each report is unique. Now it's brought in the billable task that I've turned on, and you only have billable time this time. So only 5 tasks that I've turned on as billable. And as you can see, I have the description that I've just filled in the beginning of the video. We have the duration, the billable time, the location, etc. So all of these data is going to be useful for our reports. For now, you'll have to do those reports manually, but as I've said, I want to improve this tool. I want to make it better. So if you have any idea of a report that could be interesting to you when it comes to ClickUp time track, please let me know down in the comments. Leave your ideas, any report, any dashboard that you'd like to see. I'd be happy to take it into account for the next feature of ClickUp to Sheets. If you want to know more about ClickUp to Sheets, the link to the add-on is down the description. If you've been using it already, you know that it's on a trial base of 7 days, and then from there, you have to subscribe. It starts at $8 a month, I think, if you pay yearly, and all the details are onto clickuptosheets.com. All you have to do is go there. You can get the add-on. You can also subscribe right from there, either for the starter plan at $7 a month. The pro plan is actually at $7 a month still for now, but I'll probably increase that price very soon as I add more and more value. And if you click subscribe, you'll be prompted to the subscription link and you can get started from there. Now, thanks for watching this video. I'd be happy to help you out on ClickUp to Sheets. You can leave a comment, you can send me an email. I'd love to help you out. I'd love to see how this tool can ease your time. I've already gotten a lot of lovely feedback from ClickUp to Sheets users. It's a project I love because it's my first software project and I've been improving it over time. It's been buggy and glitchy in the beginning, but now it's all working very smoothly, very quickly, and you can definitely trust it as your go-to tool when it comes to ClickUp exports. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you again on another Build in Public or another ClickUp video. Have a good one.